Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media. Finally, bringing you part 2 in the Richard Laymon Beast House Quartet. Today I'll be talking about the Midnight Tour and Friday Night in Beast House, which comes with a bonus novella, which I will also be talking about. Now, first things first, I want to apologize for the lateness of this review. I know so many of you who have been loving these videos have been emailing me saying, where is part 2? I want to find out about the second or the third and fourth book in the Beast House Quartet. Why the fuck have you not given it? Well, there's a number of reasons. One, lot of shit has been going on. Some of you know it, some of you don't. Not going to get into it right now. It's just some stuff that I've been dealing with my wife and whatnot, and that is kind of spilled over into the beginning of semester here. So yeah, I managed to get a few game videos out, but the book ones have taken a while. The second reason is because of this fucking beast of a book. This what was this? This was a 500 and what, 97, 99, 599 page beast to get through, and I'll explain why in my review. So that is why this has taken so long. Now, also season 5 of Rick and Morty, I've been trying to binge watch it. Had to go back and start from season 1 all over again because I'm fucking psychotic like that, but there you go. Also, you can see we're in some new digs here, new like little office in the apartment. So yeah, without any more fucking preamble, I'm going to finish off my vodka and orange and get straight into so let's start with The Midnight Tour. This was published originally in 1997. When I read this, I was in university. I was in my first year of university, traveling 3 hours a day to get to university, 3 hours a day to get home again. So I had plenty of time to read on the train, and I absolutely loved it. Stupid little 19-year-old me absolutely love this. This book is a fucking piece of shit for all the wrong reasons. So if you remember part 2, we have the town of Malcassa Point that has the attraction of the Beast House. It's been around since 1903. These beasts were apparently brought over from an island off the coast of Australia because, you know, naturally. They rape women, they rape men, blah, blah, blah. The house will turn into a tourist attraction. Go watch the other fucking videos if you forget what I was talking about. Now, the Midnight Tour picks up many years after the Beast House, and Janice, the survivor, one of the survivors of the Beast House, has now taken it over. She runs the hotel with her husband, and she has a museum, and they've set the Beast House up, so it's got audio tours now and new attractions and all that kind of fucking shit. But she's off on holiday, so we're dealing with her stepdaughter, Tuck, and Tuck's best friend, Dana, who has come to Malcassa Point to work as a Beast House tour guide for the summer. So they're two characters that we are following in this story. At the same time, we are also following Owen and Monica. They are teachers who have traveled to San Francisco for a vacation, and Owen has wanted to take the Beast House tour. Janice has written 2 books that he's read. There's been countless horror movies about the Beast House, and Owen's really wanted to take the tour. Monica, on the other hand, is just a fucking bitch about everything. She's a controlling, nagging, like spiteful fucking character, and you hate her immediately. You are tricked into thinking that Owen is the character that you're going to be following. He's not. See, I'm saving you the trouble of reading this fucking book. You don't have to fucking read it. I'm saving you the fucking trouble. So Owen and Monica get a tour bus from San Francisco to go on the Beast House tour. In the meantime, Tuck and Dana are going through the motions. We meet the other guides on the Beast House tour that work there, and we meet Clyde, who is just like a sexist piece of shit. You hate him immediately, and you know he's going to die at the end of the fucking book. You're just saying, how is he going to fucking die? All this time they're on the tour, Monica is just bitching and bitching and bitching, and she just ruins it for Owen. And eventually they end up going back to San Francisco, but not before Dana has caught Owen's eye. And Owen is like, oh, she's so hot, she's so sexy. What if Monica was like her? Blah, 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 blah. They get back to San Francisco, and Monica's a bitch, and Owen ends up just fucking ditching her in the hotel and getting a rental car, driving all the way back because he wants to take the midnight tour. The midnight tour that the novel is named after is a special tour for people to pay $100 on a Saturday night. They get a free picnic. They go to the movie theater to watch the first Beast House film and then take a tour through the Beast House at midnight, because we all know you shouldn't go in the house at night. Bad shit happens. We learned that from the other two fucking books in the series. Okay, we all caught up? Good. Now, in the meantime, we are also getting Sandy's story. You'll remember Sandy as the daughter in the cellar, who ends up getting kidnapped and impregnated by one of the beasts at the end of that book. And in the Beast House, she is working in the Beast House, and she kind of escapes at the end of that book and gets away. So we have her story kind of interwoven here, but her story takes place in the past. So we get to see how she kind of grows up from 14 to 30-something. At the same time, she's looking after her son, Eric, who is a beast. She was impregnated by one of the beasts. She gave birth to a beast. And her story involves murder and theft. She becomes a model for a painter, falls in love with a cop. The cop gets killed by her son. Her son runs away, and then she goes off tracking her son. She ends up back in Malcasa Point, but she changes her name and becomes a police officer. Plot twist. A really good plot twist. I didn't see it coming. I didn't remember it from when I read it originally, and it took me by surprise, and I really enjoyed it. Her story is really, really good. That should have been the book. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Let's move on. Dana and Tuck are being stalked by someone or something in the bushes. In the meantime, Owen, who is wandering around Malcasa Point and taking the Beast House tour, meets this guy called John. John's a fucking weirdo. John likes taking photos of shit. He's a fucking pervert. Whatever. Owen and him kind of hook up, and Owen says, I will buy you a midnight tour ticket if you get some candid snapshots of Dana or Dana, who fucking cares? D-A-N-A, whatever. Okay, so all this goes along. It finally culminates on the midnight tour, where we get to meet a small cast of characters that are completely inconsequential, except that some of them die and some of them don't. Here is where we meet Vain and Dark. Vain and Dark are two goth chicks who, how do I put this lightly? Well, okay. Monica comes back into the picture after fucking Owen ditches her. You knew that was going to happen. It was always going to happen. Whatever. She comes back into the picture. John, by this point, has probably been killed off. No one fucking cares. She takes the other ticket that Owen had and decides to go on the midnight tour and kind of tease Owen a little bit. Owen gets the shits and goes to eat his picnic dinner in the fucking men's room, as you do. While he's in the men's room, Vain and Dark come in and pretty much fucking rape him. They suck his blood because they're pseudo-vampires. They strip him down, and, you know, while Vain's doing shit, Dark fucks it. It's rape. There's no other way around it. These two women rape this guy. He fucking loves it. He loves it so much that he starts to fall in love with Dark right then and there. Whatever. Ridiculous. So they all go to the movie theater where Monica is just being a fucking bitch, and you just can't wait for her to fucking die. Like, seriously, I know it might sound bad that I'm saying this about a female character. Read the book. She is a fucking bitch in this book. So they go watch the movie. Dana has actually hooked up with a guy who runs the snack stand. I haven't even mentioned him, but he plays an integral part of the story because at one point he was in the Beast house and the Beast raped. That's his character arc. Okay. He was sexually molested by a Beast, yet on at least 3 separate occasions, he still fucks Dana. So whatever, it mustn't have traumatized him that much when it comes to sex and function. So Dana goes off and has sex with him. Dark and Vane have raped Owen in the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. They go back to the Beast house and the Beast attacks. Remember, this book is 500 and, what did I say, 99 pages long? Yeah, the Beast doesn't show up until about 520. Think about it. The Beast attacks. The cop thinks it's her son that is doing the attacking. Dana finds 2 bodies of a fucking teenage guy and a teenage girl at some point. In all the confusion, Monica stabs Owen in the back and almost kills him. Vane and Dark fights. Everyone fights the Beast. All the women get together and fight the Beast, and they all become fucking chummy. And then we get to the end of this book. And the end of this book is where I have the biggest fucking problem, because if you gave Owen and Dark a happy ending, I could live with it. If you gave Tuck and Dana happy ending, I could live with that. Vane gets her face ripped off, so no one fucking cares about her. But spoiler alert for this fucking book. Dana gets carried off by a Beast who is Sandy/Eve's son. Eve being the name she used. I don't know if I fucking mentioned it. Doesn't matter. And as Owen's in the hospital, he wakes up thinking a woman's on top of him, thinking it's Dark, and it's Monica. That's where it ends. We don't get any fucking closure on anything. Now, problematic as that is, the biggest issue I have with this book, the editorial mistakes, the editing mistakes in this fucking book. Not editorial, editing mistakes. I just made an editing mistake. There you go. Words are misspelled. And you look at a keyboard and it's simply he pressed the wrong key because it's near another key. As someone who writes a lot, I understand that happens. The editor's job is to fucking fix it, and they didn't. And it's not 1 or 2 occurrences. It's like 5 or 6 in every fucking chapter. And it really gets to you after a while. Midnight Tour, book 3 of the Beast House Quartet. Moving on to Friday Night in Beast House, which was published, the novella, or this book, 2 novellas in one, published in 2001, which sadly was the year that Richard Laymon passed away. Friday Night in Beast House has a very interesting premise. A teenager has a hots for a girl, and the girl says, I'll go on a date with you if you can get me into Beast House after dark. He concocts a scheme, a very clever scheme, I might add. This is set before Midnight Tour for some reason, so it leads me to believe that this was released in a short story compilation somewhere that I'm not familiar with, because we do have the character of Eve Chaney/Sandy, who is in Malcassa Point hunting for a son. He finds a way to get into Beast House at night, a very clever way. I'm not going to spoil that part for you because that takes up 95% of the novella, which is fine, because that's what Richard Laymon was good at. He was good at building up this suspense. And then at the end of the novel, after Allison has kind of come in, the girl has come into the beast house, and they're wandering around, and during the course of his day hiding in beast house, he finds a pair of glasses. Allison links those glasses to an annoying girl that used to hang around her at high school that disappeared a few months earlier. And they decide to investigate a little bit more. Allison gets taken by a beast. We don't know which beast at this point. Now, in the Midnight Tour, it is alluded that Dana finds the bodies of a boy and a girl kind of strung up in a cave in the beast house, in the tunnels underneath beast house. I assumed that that was going to be these two people. Boy, was I wrong. And I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. Ultimately, what happens in Friday Night in Beast House is the beast fucking rapes Allison, and the guy, I forget his name, Mark. I'm sorry. Mark goes to rescue her. He kind of overcomes his fear and he goes to rescue her. The beast runs away. He finds Allison, and Allison's like, "You came back for me." And he goes, "Of course I did." And she goes, "Oh, that's so sweet. Let's fuck." And then they fuck, and in his mind, he's thinking about sloppy seconds from the beast. I don't even fucking know. And then he walks her home, and she says, "Don't tell my mum and dad I got raped by a beast, and we'll go on a date." And he's like, "Okay, but no strings attached." And she's like, "Oh, there's only one. You got to get me in the beast." The build-up was better than the payoff in the novella. But let's talk about the wilds. Bonus novella here you get with this book. Really interesting. It's a journal written from the point of view of a guy who has broken up. Well, his girlfriend was basically cheating on him. They were planning to go camping. He broke it off with her. He's all hurt and fucking upset. He decides to go by himself. And he goes out in the wilds. Now, what do you think happens? Hillbillies, monsters, all that kind of shit? No. He just goes hiking and hiking and hiking. And then he discovers that it's fun, like peeking at people who are hiking. He runs afoul of two women who think he's a sleazebag. They tie him up. Don't do anything to him. He gets free. He finds another group of campers that are hiking. He's going to rob them for food because he only bought 10 days worth of food. So he needs like food to get back to his car. And so he keeps, I don't want to rob these people because they're all like tattooed freaks and blah, blah, blah. They look scary. And as he's leaving their camp, he runs into a girl and he freaks out and he smashes her head on a rock. She's unconscious, so he takes her with him. And ultimately what ends up happening is she escapes. He freaks out. He goes back to the camp to see if she's down there, assuming that she is with them. She's not. He ends up killing them all, stealing all their food. And then there is the big kind of twist at the end, because you knew after about 100 pages of him just walking through the wilderness, you knew he was the one that was going to go wild, and the wilds wasn't a metaphor for something else. But the twist at the end, the last, I would say, 4 pages of the wilds makes this a really interesting and exciting novella to read. All in all, I think this one is a pretty good example of Richard Laymon's strengths in the building up of suspense. This is a very good example of Richard Laymon's weaknesses in that he writes characters that just fucking piss me off. So, The Cellar, The Beast House, The Midnight Tour, and Friday Night in Beast House, the Richard Laymon Beast House Quartet. I'm very glad I finally got a chance to finish this review. I would really like to review more Richard Laymon books. I love a lot of his work. It's really good if you're just into that quick horror. I will give a quick shout out to One Rainy Night, which is one of his most underappreciated works and one that I think would make a fantastic movie, and Resurrection Dreams, which is just flat out fucking creepy. Okay, so that was the Beast House Quartet. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'm not sure when I'm going to have a chance to get another video up. Next week is a little hectic for me, so I'll apologize in advance if I don't have a chance to do that. Please subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification bell. I don't know what it does. I haven't hit it myself. I think one of you have hit it because someone keeps telling me they get notifications, but I don't fucking know. And yeah, until I see you guys next time, read a fucking book, people. Have a good one.